So let's talk about the PlayStation 4 playing on an iPhone. And yes, this is an iPhone. I have an Android as well, but it doesn't come to the Android yet. So I'm going to talk about it strictly for the iPhone at this point. I'll get that thing out of the way and talk about the PlayStation 4 controller. This is an overall awesome controller. You probably know how it works. You've got the triggers and the bumpers. You've got the D-pad. You've got the triangle, the square, the X, the zero, the O button, the analog sticks. You got the touchpad, the share, the options, the PlayStation button. All of that is pretty cool and very awesome. But it's very hard to get it on the screen. And this screen is kind of hard to play games with. And I'll mention that now, but I'll also dig into it a little bit later and get deeper into it. I like the option. I think it's very cool. I think it's an innovative way to do it. However, if you're playing it vertical, it's not really an option because it takes the screen and makes it really this big, and then you got your buttons below, which is okay, but it doesn't look good and it's hard to see things. I often caught myself, I admittedly was playing on the couch looking at the TV that the PlayStation 4 was on just because I wanted to see how the lag was and everything. And honestly, the lag wasn't bad. I was doing things and it was pretty good as long as I hit the buttons. What I found was I would often be looking up, trying to do things, and I would miss things. I would miss the buttons. And I did play it horizontally for the most part because vertically just wasn't really a good way to play it. But that's whatever, that's the way I like to hold it, because holding your phone like this is much better than trying to hold it like this and play it. So I did it that way, and I actually found it quite enjoyable. I played a platformer called Rad Rogers, which is actually a really cool game, and I want to review it on this channel at some point. I think it fits well within this channel, so I am going to talk about that in the future, so be ready for that as well. Now, I will try to show some footage of me playing it, and what you'll notice is whenever I try to hit some of the buttons, oftentimes I would hit the joystick instead, because the way that it is in horizontal mode, you see the D-pad, you see the bumper and the trigger of both the L and the R side, and then you see the X, the O, the square, and the triangle button, but you don't see the analog sticks, which means you can basically put your fingers anywhere else on that half of the screen and play with that analog stick, which I oftentimes found hard because if I missed that button just a little bit, I was moving my character in the wrong direction and just having issues with it. Now, I will say, it didn't actually look half bad. I didn't have it running at the full capacity that it could have. I didn't mess with any of the settings. I just played what was out of the box because I feel like that's kind of the way to play it, is the way that they gave it to you. And it was okay. The graphics weren't great by any means, and I kind of understand that because you are streaming it and playing it, so the graphics were decent. There were times when it was something really small, I would look up to the screen and be like, oh, okay, I need to go over there, and then I'd come back down and stare back at my phone and play the game. Now, I did realize, and this is a problem with all mobile games that kind of have that overlay of the controller, these games aren't meant for that overlay, which means that overlay can cover up things, whether it's enemies or loot that you're trying to find or whatever it is for whatever game you're playing. There is places that you just won't see because your fingers are covering them up. But I think this is very fun, and this kind of reminds me of the Wii U, and I know that's going to turn people off. Don't think of it as a bad way because I said the Wii U. I enjoyed the Wii U because oftentimes I either couldn't play on the TV because I lived with my parents for some of the Wii U years, and I would just not play on the TV, or I would watch something else while I was playing a game. So what I like about this is you can have TV playing, whether it's on the TV, something else hooked up to it, and still be able to play your PS4. Now, you could probably get really intense whenever they do it with the Android and play with your actual controller, and I think that'll make it a lot better. But at this point, I don't think it's available for the iPhone, which kind of sucks, but it's Apple, so you're kind of stuck with whatever they give you. But I think this is a cool concept. I had fun with it, and I want to know what you think. Make sure you comment down below and let me know how you played it and if you enjoyed it or not. Or if you're just now hearing about it, tell me what you think about it. But just want to make sure that you know I had fun with it. It wasn't the worst thing, but it could also be way better. So I say it's an okay experience. It's a good experience. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. So with that being said, I want to make sure that you enjoy this. So comment down below and let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you hit the bell notification. That way you know when I post more videos. If you want any information about me, down below in the description there are links. Go check those out if you want. If not, no big deal. But most importantly, make sure you have a good day.